Hey, Blaze fans and everybody else watching this, welcome back to another episode of the Coventry Blaze podcast. Ed Kimberley, Stu Coles, as always, and a very, very special guest tonight. Rejoining the Coventry Blaze for another 2 years, as announced earlier, the EIHL's leading goal scorer from last season, Luke Ferrara. Luke, this is awesome. Thank you so much for doing this, and, well, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me.
And I'm going to jump straight in. It was 3 years in Sheffield. I know you were a little angsty about how that ended. You know, it was a tough call for the coach at the time to make. Came straight to Coventry, and every year you built and built and built. And 3 years now have gone by. That's crazy. It seems like it's gone by in the blink of an eye. And what a way to end the year. Personally, top of the goal column. You must be thrilled with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said it before. It's not something you really focus on during the year. We were really focused on picking up 2 points every game we played, and then before you know it, it's closing on the end of the season, and people are talking about it. And unfortunately, the season ended early. I'd like to think I could have stayed up there, but yeah, it was a huge achievement, and I'm really proud of it.
The whole thing's been building and snowballing, since, I think you were one of Danny's first signings back in the day. Why did you choose Coventry that year when you left Sheffield?
Just speaking to Danny and what he had to say about the club and what his intentions were, and he seemed fair. He said to me, like, you're not going to come in and take somebody's spot. Obviously, you have to prove yourself, and that's something that I think every player should have to do, and that appealed to me. So I just came in knowing if I work hard, and I'll be able to prove myself and play in the position I want to play in.
And I guess he's a name that's been around, for 10 odd years now in the Elite League. I don't know whether you'd have played against him before.
I my very last year.
Yeah.
Last year, sorry, I played against him.
So I guess you knew he had that passion, that intensity, and I guess having someone who knows the league, knows what it takes to be successful at this level always helps, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, I think he was slowing down by that point in his career, but yeah, you could tell he loved the game, so that's good to know.
Yeah, we've had Danny on here, and he's throughout the year as well just had nothing but good things to say about yourself as well, and about the team, and you personally, you've won a few trophies now. I think it was 2 leagues with Sheffield, 1 playoffs, and we nearly had 1 more. So we were all sitting here on what ifs, maybes. How was it from your perspective? Like if you were going to put your cards on the table, I think the league was a long shot, but that playoff title was looking really, really inviting, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. You could have asked anyone in that room. I wouldn't have bet against us. We were full of confidence, and I think it was 17 we got to without losing in regulation, and that's not a team you want to play against. And we weren't. I don't think we were slowing down at any point. So it's a shame it ended the way it did. I think we could have definitely won something. Yeah, like you say, long shot for the league, but we've seen stranger things happen, and then definitely playoffs we could have won it, but it's the way it goes.
Yeah, last week when this goes out, a couple of days back from real time, Andy Johnston has gone back to France for a couple of years. I loved Andy to bits. Andy was one of the nicest guys knocking around. His energy, whose energy reminded me of? He reminded me of Ryan Dingle.
Yeah, I get that same impression. Yeah. He's a great guy. I got on really well with him from day one, and he's one of the funniest people I think I've ever met. And it's a shame to lose him, but you can't say enough good things about the guy.
Yeah, that line seemed to click with you, him, and Yanni. And I guess that's the fruits of the labor of being, 3 high-level hockey players at the Elite League level.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough good things about those 2 guys. They almost went out of their way to try and get me the puck at times, and I mean, I'd tell them on the bench, I'm like, you can shoot the puck if you want. I really don't care, but they always look to pass and let me do my job, I guess. So they're both great people and great players, and it was a lot of fun just being on that line. Even in practice, they were a good laugh, and we worked hard, and yeah, I think like you said, it paid off when it came to game time.
You complemented each other, how you play the game as well. You kind of emerged as the finisher this year. Andy was kind of, I guess, the energy guy who could do a little bit of everything. But, I mean, Stu and I would scream at Yanni to shoot the puck at times, and then he makes a couple strides, puts it on his forehand, makes an amazing pass, and it's just like, oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah, Yanni sees the game different to everyone, but I think maybe I kind of wish I could see it the way he does too, because like you said, it seems to work. Whatever he's doing, it's working.
I guess that's experience for him, though, right? Was he 38? He turned 38 during the season. He looks like he's taking really good care of himself, though. I mean, the body starts to break down as you get older, and he's still knocking around.
Yeah, I think start of the season we were trying to find the old guy in the room, and we couldn't find him. Yanni looks like anybody else, so he's doing well. He's in great shape.
Yeah, and it was a really young group as well. When the season first started, the first puck dropped, it was Drew who was 30, Yanni who was 38, and everybody else was under that. So I guess having a sprinkle of maturity in there helped. But it was good that he could, I guess, relate and have fun with the younger guys too, and he didn't kind of stand out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you come into the room, you wouldn't have noticed anything. He was having a laugh with the guys, and he wanted to win more than anyone. So, yeah, again, I can't say enough about him. And I mean, what a player he ended up being for us.
And you learn off those guys too, right? I mean, you're still a young guy. This is still fairly early in your career. Every year you learn off guys around you. We talked about Dingle. I mean, he was a great player, had great energy. You talk about a lot of different players who we've had. Is there anything specific that you kind of learned off Andy and Yanni last year?
I guess probably from Johnny, I'd say just the way he approaches the game. He's never not having fun, and he's never not relaxed and enjoying himself. And I think that's the best way to be when you play the game. You can put too much pressure on yourself, and I think there's enough pressure anyway. So to find the fun in everything and be able to enjoy it and play well while you're doing it, I think is huge. And then I think, like you said with Yanni, to see the hunger and the determination in him at the age he is, and that's something that hopefully I can still have in a few years down the line too.
In terms of, we talked about this a little bit, Coventry and Danny as a coach and his imprint on Coventry hockey behind the bench has been developing year on year on year in tandem with yours. I mean, it's not the only measure, but it's a pretty good one. To the new fan looking at elite prospects and seeing your point totals snowball. How do you see yourself with that development, and how do you see how the club has developed in the 3 years you've been with the Blaze?
I think it's night and day. I mean, it's tough for me to say from, I guess, like Danny's perspective or a management perspective. I mean, you'd have to, I guess, ask them. But from a playing point of view, I mean, I remember my first year, I'd hear guys say, we play Cardiff this weekend, or we play Sheffield, and there was kind of that negative attitude towards a game before we'd even got to the weekend. Whereas now, like I said, that run we were just on, nobody questioned who we were playing. Every time we got to the rink, I guess we didn't even realize who we were playing till Stewie told us. We were like, well, we're probably gonna have a good chance of winning regardless. So let's just buckle down, do some hard work, and then we'll see what happens at the weekend. It's just it was refreshing this year to know that, just to have that confidence. I guess that was the biggest difference for us.
And some of the home comforts as well. I know they spent a lot of time on the housing that the players were going into. They did things like gutting out the old physio room and changing that around a lot. I didn't know this either, but Danny was talking about the lighting in the dressing room as well. They put not mood lighting, but you know what I mean? They changed the lighting so they would have that kind of effect. Little things sometimes go a long way in this business though, right?
They do, yeah. I think, like you said, little things, they add up. And when you take in all that and good housing and guys being comfy and enjoying their time away from the rink too, it definitely adds up. And that was here from day one this season. I think everybody was happy right from the get-go, and you saw the effect it had later on in the season. So,
Stu, do you want to pick up?
Yeah. So, whilst you're closely associated with the Blaze and with your time at Sheffield as well, your first game in the Elite League was actually for Cardiff a couple of years prior to that. How did that come about? Like the game there?
I remember that was actually it was a little different. I guess I was on the way to an away game with Peterborough, and I got a message on Facebook from Neil Francis, who was on the bench at the time, just saying that they were struggling for players. They had a lot of injuries, and they had a game on a Friday, so it wouldn't affect my weekend with Peterborough, so they asked me if they flew me out to Belfast, would I mind playing? Obviously, I want to play as much hockey as I can and make that step up at some point. So, yeah, they flew me out there on the Friday morning. Played the game, ended up scoring, which was nice. Flew back Saturday morning, played both games for Peterborough that weekend, and I remember driving to university Monday morning for a test. So it was a long few days, but yeah, it was a hell of an experience for me.
At that sort of young age in your career, that sort of experience is absolutely vital, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and it's something that is hard to come by. Not a lot of people get the chance to do that, I guess. And yeah, I guess I don't know if it was luck or whatever, why they chose, like him and Jared Adams chose me, but yeah, it helped me for sure, give me some confidence and let me know that step up isn't beyond my reach. So hopefully more players get that opportunity in the future.
It was another couple of years before you sort of made it to the Elite League with Sheffield. Going through that sort of route, and you sort of making those progressions through what was then EPL and then up to the Elite League. How difficult is it for young British players to make that transition?
It's very difficult. I mean, there's not many spots in the Elite League as it is, and having such a big gap, I guess, between the leagues now is just making it more and more difficult. I mean, I know myself how much hard work I've put in, and guys I know really well have put in, and I'd hate to see anything happen and think that players can't make that step up. But yeah, it's a lot of hard work, and I feel like it's getting tougher too.
And do you think because it's maybe getting tougher and that the gap is a bit different than how it was a few years ago, do you think that's why we potentially seeing more players go abroad and do studying in Canada, in the US, going to play in different countries to then maybe come back to the UK at 19, 20, 21 years old?
Yeah, probably. I mean, they probably get a lot better, practices and more time on the ice. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just getting on the ice as much as you can. I mean, growing up, we get 1 hour a week and doesn't really feel like it's good enough. So the more ice you can get, the better. And if that means moving abroad, then yeah, I think that'll probably start to happen more and more. Obviously, that ends up costing a lot of money too to these families if they can afford it. But I guess that'll probably start happening. Yeah.
How did you manage to, I guess, exploit that 1 hour of ice time a week? What did you do to make the most of what time you were getting?
Well, I guess I was lucky that my family all played hockey, so it was easy for me to ask for advice and do some extra work at home. And I guess, there's not that many players in the junior system, so if you can prove yourself to be a certain level, then you get a chance to play up an age group too. So I think at one point I was playing under 14s, 16s and 19s at the time. So there are ways around it, but it's like I said, it's not easy.
It's not easy, but as you said, you made that step and ended up with the Steelers, and without meaning any sort of disrespect to Peterborough, it's a bit of a change playing in Peterborough to moving to playing in Sheffield.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it couldn't be a big change when you think about the rink and everything that goes along with it. It's a huge change, but I think having that 2 a year where I was playing for Peterborough but practicing with Sheffield, I think I ended up playing 22 games. So I think that gave me time to adjust to like you said, the differences and get used to that, what I was going to need to get used to, I guess. So yeah, I'd say that 2 a year was huge for me, and I probably learned more in that year than I probably ever will playing the game again. So,
and playing in Sheffield, you got to get involved in some big tournaments, things like the Champions Hockey League. I mean, how important do you think that is for the UK game to be visible on the European stage?
Oh, it's very important. I mean, all the best teams outside of the NHL play in that, and to be in that kind of level and showcase the league, I think, is anytime the league gets a chance to be showcased and British players do is a good thing. So to have it done on that kind of level is really important for us.
And British players making a showcase of themselves. You managed to do that pretty well in a game against Salzburg.
Yeah, I guess I did. It's probably one of my favourite goals, I think, actually. My roommate at the time, Marcus Nilsson, he managed to turn the puck over. We had a 2-on-1, and he was a pass-first guy as well, so I guess I'm used to playing with those kind of guys now. And I just remember thinking, if I can stay open when I get close to the net, he's going to find a way to get it to me. And sure enough, he did, and I guess it was a bit of a blur after that point.
But you've mentioned a lot about your time at Peterborough already, and you've mentioned about your brothers. What's it like, playing on the same team as your brothers? How was that to experience?
That was really special for me, and I think it's probably still one of my favorite, if not definitely my proudest moment. Winning the last game we all played together was winning the playoffs in Coventry, and that. That's a dream come true for me. When you're growing up, all I used to do was go and watch Peterborough and then play for the junior team. So I just thought, well, I'm going to end up playing for the Phantoms one day. I didn't think there was anything else out there, and then you do. And me and my brothers never got a chance. We were all too far apart. I'd play with Robert would play with James, but we never all three played together. So to eventually get to do that and then bring a trophy home for the town too was very special for us.
And that playoff win, that was 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
And the Blaze had a playoff win. And then there was, I think everybody's seen the pictures on the internet now. There was a reasonable party in Crosby's that evening. Were you in the vicinity, and where were Peterborough enjoying the evening after their win?
Well, we went to Crosby's for a little bit, but I guess we must have missed the Blaze party. I mean, that could have been fun to combine them. But we must have missed by, I don't know, seconds or minutes, because we went there for a bit and then we obviously got on the bus on the way back home and carried on partying back in Peterborough. But I heard both parties were fun. So,
well, it's certainly a memorable year, that's for sure. But maybe as a one final point about sort of like your time with Peterborough, obviously the connection with your family is still strong there now. Your brothers have maintained playing with them for a number of years, but this year they renamed a box after you. Is that correct? Right.
Yeah, they renamed one of the boxes the Ferrara box. I didn't really know it was going to happen till my brothers told me, but yeah, that's. I guess that's something I never thought would happen too, but it's nice. It's nice that they recognised the hard work we put in, and I mean, you can ask the boys if you get any of them on here, but they've been giving me a hard time about that all year, thinking I'm big time and stuff. But it was a nice touch, and we really appreciate it.
As long as it wasn't the penalty box they named after the Ferrara brothers, and that's okay.
Yeah, we don't have any worries there. It's not.
No. Did James played with the Panthers for a while, right? 4 years there.
Yeah, 4 years, I think. Yeah, he did. We used to go watch him every weekend.
Did he give you any hints and tips of what the jump would be like? Because I can't remember what his last year was, but it was in and around the time where you were signing that two-way with the Steelers.
Yeah, it was a few years before. But yeah, I mean, they both taught me a lot. But just watching him play and putting his hard work in and biding his time, I think is enough to teach me how I was going to have to do it. And I mean, he had a lot of success in Nottingham. They won a lot of trophies. So I guess it was nice for me to see that could happen and the hard work will pay off. So I guess that would probably be the biggest thing I learned.
Well, for sure the hard work's paying off. I mean, without blowing too much smoke, you're the first Brit to lead the league in goals. And that's an incredible stat in itself. And a 2-year extension. That's a statement of intent. You've already got a letter on your chest. There have been some fantastic British captains coming through the Blaze. Ashley Tate, Michael Tasker, Jonathan Weaver. There's a bunch of other guys if you go back even further. To be in that group, and is that something that you want to aspire to? You seem like a really loyal guy. This seems like somewhere you've settled.
Yeah, I mean, again, the last 3 years have been great for my career, and I've loved every second of it. And I guess, yeah, you could say I'm a loyal guy, and Stewie offered me a 2-year deal, and it's something that I like the idea of. And yeah, I mean, for you to say those names and put me in there is a huge compliment. So I don't know if I'll ever be captain, we'll see, but just to be on the team and be somewhere where I love playing and enjoy is enough for me.
Yeah, you can't say any fairer than that. I mean, I think you guys are all pardon how I phrase this, because I know hopefully you know what I mean. You're all very lucky to do what you do. I know there's so much hard work that goes into it, but there are a lot of guys out there that don't enjoy what they're doing and they don't have a lot of fun. So I guess making the most out of it is so important. And you're doing that, right? I mean, Ross Venus and you, it seem like you're pretty good friends. The Brit Pack this year all did well. But I mean, Headley from when he got in, Forbes, he did a great job. He played defense at one point. That was crazy. Like I said, Clemo, yourself, every Brit seemed to have a really great year. V was on for a career year. You kind of stole the limelight a little in his testimonial year. I'm sure he's forgiven you for that. But being surrounded by good guys who are on level with you is so important, right?
Yeah, it is very important, and I think like success breeds success in a way. So the fact that one player does well, I think, means somebody else starts to do well, and before you know it, like I said, you don't even think about it. We're all playing at the top of our game and contributing, and those guys were amazing for us. I mean, Heads, anytime he had to come in is amazing. He's one of the hardest working players every day in practice. Like you said, Forbes, he would do anything you ask of him. Mm-hmm. Clem is, I mean, Clem's Clem, but he's a great guy, and he's hard worker, and he has a lot of fun, and he's come on a lot. Clem could be a really good player for the Blaze for a long time, and I mean, you can't say enough about V. He's 25 and just at his testimonial. So I don't know what else you can add on to that. He's a great player, and he's getting better as he gets older too.
We tweeted each other briefly about Ashley Tate earlier, so I know I mentioned that name earlier. So that's pretty cool. He's doing well in Spain. Shout out to Ross Venus. Gotta put your name to a piece of paper at some time soon, Ross. I know they got internet out there. Don't be shirking Danny. But the other thing I was going to say, I think GB is the next big thing, right? Worlds get cancelled. Obviously, we understand why. It's probably for the right reason. Want to get ahead of the situation that we're in now. But GB have achieved some amazing things over the last couple of years, staying in the top division in that game against the French. And I think you're really looking forward to, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, getting your teeth stuck into that again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure everybody you've asked this question has said the same thing, but playing for your country is a huge honor. And I guess I'm lucky that the last 2 years that I've played, or obviously without this year, we've had great success, and I think it's a product of maybe the hard work that's gone in the years before as well. Because I know they've been fighting in the lower groups for a long time. So for me to come in at this stage and help them out further and win a gold medal and then stay up in the top division is I guess something I never thought I would end up doing, and I've actually been able to, and I've got some of the best memories I guess I'll ever get.
Some great coaches have been involved in the GB program. Pete Russell's got the job right now. It goes without saying he's a great coach at this level. He was DEL2 Coach of the Year, and he's provided stability to the unit, hasn't he? He's been there for a few seasons now. I can't remember how many off the top of my head, but when you have someone there that's there for a while, they get to put their blueprint on it. They've got their DNA in it, and they know things. You've had success throughout your GB career, junior as well. He will have, his spies out, I guess. He'll have his scouts out. He knows who's coming up, who's 18 and ready to cut their teeth in the elite league and, maybe in a couple of years be ready to jump in. Pete's super important to the program.
Yeah, he's really good. And he was actually one of my, I think it was I can't remember if it was under 18s or 20s, but he was one of my coaches there. He was involved a lot. And, he's very passionate about the game, and it's nice to have that consistency, and he never lets you take a practice off or a game, or even a shift off, I should say, or a turn in practice off. He's very relentless, and I think he finds a way to get the best out of all his players, which, I mean, the results have proven that.
talking about having a lot of fun, both in and around the rink and on the ice. Equipment manager Ethan Kane says you do an amazing blinding lights dance, man. What's that all about?
That's stays in the room, I think. I can't Ethan would tell people.
Shout out to Ethan. He did a great job this year too. Coming in his first year doing it.
Heath, the boys love Heath. He can't do no wrong. He's a great guy, and we love having him around the room.
And Smalley too. I see he never has quite got the hang of retirement.
No, I mean, I think I've seen Smalley more this year than I have in the past too. So I don't know what he thinks he's doing, but he goes to Spain for 2 weeks. He comes back and sharpens some skates.
Good old Smalley. He'll never change. I'm almost out of stuff to talk about, except I keep forgetting this every year. But we share a birthday.
Yeah, 7th of June, best
Yeah. Also, good hockey player. I think he's kind of good. Leading US all-time NHL point scorer. June 7th, Mike Modano.
That's not bad, is it?
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. And tennis, Anna Kournikova. I can't think of anyone else. I
mean, you know more than me, Ed. I know me and you.
I have way too much time on my hands. That's why. Stu, have you got anything else to throw Mr. Ferrara's way while we've got his time?
Yeah, just one more. It's more of it's kind of a personal interest coming from the academic side. But you've been studying for a master's of late, and how is that trying to balance a master's and pro ice hockey? Because they're two pretty full-on pieces of activities.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. I mean, you have to be very organized, and I guess you can't really give less than 100% to either. Like you said, they're both full on and take a lot of time up. But I think for me, it helped this year having something to keep my mind busy when I wasn't at the rink or in the gym or something. It's a long day. We practice early, and then you're done by say 1, 2 o'clock, and you have a lot of time to fill in the day. So I actually enjoyed keeping myself busy and have something to do, and hopefully I'll have something to do after hockey too, and if I can graduate and get this master's completed.
I guess you only play hockey for so long as well, and you've got to think about life after it, although that might be a good few years. You might be doing a Yanni, 38, still knocking around. That'll be all right.
I'll play as long as I can. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see if I can do a Yanni, but I'm trying to look after myself.
Yeah, for sure. And that's pretty important over the summer too, right? I mean, gyms are closed right now, so I guess you've kind of got your own little routine going at home.
Yeah, I mean, I do stuff in the garden, and when I'm allowed out once a day, I go for a run or go on my bike or something. Just keep my body ticking over for now until hopefully the gyms open up and can start throwing some weight around and getting back into shape again, I guess.
Yeah, and then when the rinks open up, I guess you're going to be one of the first to get back out on the ice as well.
Oh, yeah, I'll be knocking on the gate, seeing if they'll let me in.
Hey, you've got a box named after you in Peterborough. I think they can let you in early.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Hey, Luke, so thank you so much for putting your time up for this. Going to be great to see what you can achieve in the next 2 years. Hopefully you're hanging around at the top of that goal scorers column as well. And hopefully the Blaze are hanging around the top of that league as well. We're all really excited to see if you guys can pick up where you left off. And I guess that's the goal, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say unfinished business from a team point of view. And yeah, I appreciate the chat and the kind words, and I'm hoping this lockdown's done soon, and I can't wait to start playing again. Yeah, same. And I pretty much end all of these the same way. Guys and girls at home, thank you for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. Wash your hands, stay inside. We all want to get back to watching, playing, and commentating on hockey. Pretty sure you guys want to get back to watching it too. So from me, Ed, Stu, Luke, and Craig lurking in the background, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed. Speak to you soon.